like when you're a business owner, and I feel like lots of business owners or people listening to this got like are very aware of personal development, but then I'm super aware that the people that are in my team aren't necessarily aware of personal development or what's out there or what's about growing yourself. So one of the things we've wanted to do in the past 12 months, I would say, is try and bit by bit bring more of this into the workplace to open people's team members' eyes and to just what's possible when you work on yourself.
Amos Madra.
Emma Mills, founder of My PA, entrepreneur, someone with such substance and such knowledge and understanding. It's a pleasure to have you here today. And an award-winning business, My PA as well, a virtual PA business. But Emma, I want to start off by talking about you and your journey into entrepreneurship. How did it all begin?
Yeah, so and I'm very happy to be here as well. I must thank you so much for having me on the show. So it started for me, in fact, it's 15 years ago, like today, literally today, 15 years ago, the 28th of February is when I incorporated like My PA Limited. So I guess it originally started in a couple of ways. My dad had his own business, and I saw him really graft and work a lot. And so I grew up and my mum helped in the business. So I grew up around a family where like there was very much a team effort of starting a business. And then, so in my early 20s, I started uni. I quit it. I didn't enjoy it. I was there for a year and I got a job in an office. And then a few things happened and I quickly, there was a role opening for a PA. So I was a PA basically for 6 years, and I absolutely loved and love being a PA. I totally love like the impact you can have on somebody's life, when you're like leveraging their time, helping them focus on the stuff they should be. I've always really loved that relationship, and a really great like PA or exec assistant is so it can be such a key part of someone's business and growth and life. And then at the same time, I always really wanted to start my own business. So just before I started My PA, I was a PA to a property entrepreneur in Altrincham. And I was lucky in that he was super entrepreneurial, and I was exposed to all different parts of his business, of things that happened. And he was very much the kind of guy that if there's a problem, he's either going to find a way under it or over it, but he's going to find a way through it. So I had like really feel like I had a lot of very unusual entrepreneurial exposure as well in his business. So when I was, oh gosh, what was I, maybe like 26, 27, and this was back in 2008, the word virtual assistant was just becoming a thing. Like I feel like it was more, it's certainly not as prolific as it is today, but in the word virtual assistant was just becoming more, I guess. Businesses were starting to outsource more. And so I became a freelance VA, and I did all those immediate things that you do, I guess, when you start a business, like join BNI and go networking locally, and you try and meet people, because I did not have a clue how to run or start a business. And I was very aware that I needed to learn, make a network, skill up. So that went in 2008 when I started my business, and I worked on my own for 5 years. And it was like this period of time where I guess you're just learning. I mean, you still do all the time, but I guess I feel like it's more like my real university of business life, that kind of first understanding what it's like to win a client, to talk to other people who are on the same journey as you at networking events. And so that's I get that's how I got to starting my own business. And then after that, so I did 5 years on my own, but I always knew I wanted to grow a business as opposed to me being a self-employed VA. So in 2012, I employed my first member of the team, Caroline, who became my best friend, and we still are best friends. And then from that point, My PA has grown organically, up to like 15 years later.
Wow, what an incredible journey that is. And I think you've summed it up in a remarkable way. I think there's so many bits that we can pick from that, from just starting out as that entrepreneur and, be having the influence of your parents and also, that employer that you work with who opened you up to see so many ways of business and learning. If you
Yeah,
can get under it, get over it. If you can't get
yeah,
over it,
totally.
get through it. So that great analogy. That time when you pulled out of university, what was that like? Was that a difficult time? Did you second guess yourself, or did you just know instinctively that that was not the path for you?
When I was at uni, like
Yeah,
initially, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a difficult time. I mean, not crazy difficult, but in terms of where I was at that point in my life, I always thought that I would naturally go to university, like that was the natural next step. And it was never even, so when I applied, because I was going to Manchester Uni, like when I applied, it was never oh, should I do this or do something else? It was just like that natural, well, I've been to college, now you go to uni. And I definitely was, I'd say, like an academic student. So uni seemed like the natural thing that you do. Um, and when I went, it was so far removed from what I should have been doing at that point. It just, gosh, I don't know, just you're only just in a place and you're like, this is not what I should be doing right now with my life. But I was doing it because I thought that's what you did. I thought that's what you did when you left college. You went to uni because that's really amazing. Then if you've got a degree and like that's the springboard to everything else. So I did like one full year at uni, and I was doing Spanish and Portuguese studies at Manchester Uni. And I did one full year, and then I went back in the second year for it was only maybe a month or two. And yeah, I was like, gosh, I'm absolutely hating this. And it I mean, well, I guess it was a big decision for me at the time. It felt like, oh gosh, what are you going to do now if you're not going to uni? Because and even at, I'm sure most 20 year olds, you don't really know what you want to do. So yeah, I went, I got a job as an office junior basically. And then that kind of that was actually horrible, that first job. Then I got another office job, and they were really a really like collaborative, helpful office where if somebody came in, they wanted to train them and push them forwards. This is where my first PA role came from. But yeah, I just very much, I guess, was like going through what I felt like was like the natural steps when you grow up into an adult. But it turned out it was definitely not the thing that I should have been doing. And I can't say it's had any bearing on my life. Do you know what I mean? That I didn't finish that degree, or I'm glad that I went down the path that I did, very much so.
yeah, absolutely. And that's it, isn't it? Life is never straightforward. There is curves and turns and uphill and downhill and so many twists and turns to it. When you got into you did that first job, which wasn't the right fit, but then you got into another role where they offered you the PA service as well. How did that
Yeah.
feel? Did it feel that this was it? I'm in my element. I've found what I'm destined to do.
Um, yes, well, it felt very much like I was in a place where I was certainly enjoying the work every day, and I was, I mean, yeah, I was starting to explore and understand what I might like and what I might enjoy, and they were really good at that, at being helpful and encouraging, and very much my early work experience is certainly coloured later in life, because the first role that I got out of uni, the lady that ran the business, it was only a very small business of 12, but it was like the complete opposite of everything you'd want a workplace to be. Like, it was, you felt on edge, it wasn't like collaborative, it was, and I very much took that through with me in life, because I was so nervous working there every single day, because it was like kind of you're on pins. My early work experience I definitely have brought through into my PA now, because culture is very important to us, and having like fun, friendly, engaging atmosphere. So you're right. I noticed very much the difference in between the two, and the second workplace that I went into, which was much more like we have now. I guess they helped encourage me to understand, because when the PA role became available, they said to me, we think that you should apply for it because we see like qualities in you that would be well suited to supporting the directors in the business. Because I'd never thought of being a PA, to be fair, before they actually said it. So yeah, the second role that I had was quite pivotal to the rest of my life, because all my business is completely based around supporting people. So yeah.
Yeah. And, when I look at my PA, I saw that you guys recently had a workshop with someone from Tony Robbins' coaching
Yeah.
program. So clearly, there's a lot of personal development there. Look like the team were having the time of their life. It looks like they're having fun doing what they're doing. And on your website, you say that what you do, it doesn't feel like a 9 to 5. Talk to us about that passion, that energy, that drive, the desire to do what you do. And then also just bringing in training from great coaches like Tony Robbins.
Yeah, so certainly so I've been a big Tony Robbins fan for a really long time, and so I first went to Unleash the Power Within in 2017, and what I'm very aware of
Did you
is
do a firewalk?
yes, I did the firewalk. Have you done it,
I
Amos?
haven't, no.
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 Yeah, I did the firewalk, and I absolutely loved every second of Unleash the Power Within. And I did business mastery last year because I wanted to do that for ages. But I'm very aware that, so like when you're a business owner, and I feel like lots of business owners or people listening to this got like are very aware of personal development, but then I'm super aware that the people that are in my team aren't necessarily aware of personal development or what's out there or what's possible, about growing yourself. So one of the things we've wanted to do in the past 12 months, I would say, is try and bit by bit bring more of this into the workplace to open people's, team members' eyes, and to just what's possible when you work on yourself. Like a lot of like Tony Robbins teachings, and I mean, it blows me away if people don't know who Tony Robbins is, but I live in a world of like, I'm, listening to every business guru going. And so we've been very much like, we want to bring this into the workplace now to give other people, I guess, the opportunity of things they might not be listening to naturally. Or when we had the first Tony Robbins sessions back in January, a couple of the girls particularly absolutely loved it. Like they really did, and it's really great to see that you're kind of maybe opening people's perspectives a little bit about things that are out there or they didn't know before. That's that we're trying to make this more and more part of my PA and the learning and development. And in terms of your question about the passion, and so I guess I'm in quite an unusual position in that I've been a PA and I know what it's like to support a business owner, and now I am a business owner, so I see both sides of it. And I am we speak to obviously hundreds of business owners, and like it's the same themes, no matter whether somebody's got a small business and they work on their own, no matter whether somebody's got a big business. They're you wear every single hat, so they very much back themselves and know that they can do something quicker or easier or faster. And that route to that delegation piece that helps them leverage their time, for me, is the key to a lot of business owners either enjoying their business or not enjoying it. Because when you're bogged down, you're stuck, you're overwhelmed, like half of the battle is knowing who you can delegate it to, and they'll go, yeah, no problem, Amos, I'll sort it out, don't worry. That's half the battle. Getting into the habit of delegation is a big part of it. And for so many business owners that we speak to, just being able to offload some things that they do that they either don't enjoy doing, don't want to do, or shouldn't be doing, can be the key between them actually like getting home on time or spending Saturday watching their kids playing football instead of clearing their inbox. Do you know what I mean? Or enjoying their business. So I'm super passionate about virtual support, virtual PAs, outsourcing generally, to be fair, of any type of outsourcing, because it's just, speak to so many business owners they just feel stuck in the weeds. And business is meant to be a fun journey that you enjoy, and who you have around you in that can make the complete difference between enjoying it or not. Do you know what I mean? It can be the difference between stuck with a to-do list that is never ending and you're kind of thinking, why did I start this in the first place, to having a team, or just, even if it's not a team, if it's just a person, somebody that you can go, that they can support you and leverage you and help you. I feel like it's summed up really nicely. The Jim Rohn had a quote that if you feel lonely in business, you're doing it wrong, because because business owners who've got they obviously love whatever service or products they provide, and getting those just key people around you that can leverage your time, for me, is the key to enjoying your business, or thinking, why did I start this in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. You are a true disciple of Tony Robbins, bringing in Jim Rohn. Yeah, the great Jim Rohn, what a legend. So, when I think about, where things were 2012 to where they are today, so much has changed. We're in a completely different world. I can imagine COVID must have had a big impact. There's lots of businesses that have found great value in remote working, learning to leverage, not having to always do everything. You can hire somebody from the other side of the world. That must have worked to your advantage. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen from 2012 to where we are today?
Oh, wow. So you're totally right. The past couple of years for me it's been like from 2012, it's been like a gradual curve of outsourcing and virtual working. And then also the last 2 years, it's just been a complete skyrocket. So some of the biggest changes are, I guess certainly the clients that we work with, their mindset, I feel like mindset of what it looks like to have a team now is very different. Because obviously, it always used to be, well, I need somebody sat in the desk next to me to be able to pass this information over to. It used to be quite that was most of our clients' mindsets. And just see it so much, even when with new clients coming on board now, the thought of having that they must have somebody sat in the same office is kind of gone now from most conversations. It would come up a lot, that. So people's understanding of what it takes to have a team, and that doesn't mean you need an office. It doesn't mean you need to have them sat next to you, or even have responsibility for them full time. Certainly that perception has changed, which is brilliant as well, because as you say, you can have a business that you can have team members all over the world. You can be supporting in different time zones. It's definitely, I feel like, the best period of time to have ever owned a business in your life, because you can easily start one, can't you, with very little. Just as if you've got a laptop, you can start a business. So certainly the perception of what a traditional business is has completely changed, and what the makeup of that looks like. And I guess the other from a business owner's perspective, being able to build the kind of business you want is much more on people's terms now. So during the pandemic, I had quite a few conversations with people where they just realized that having people that they had to manage, motivate, it wasn't their skill set, and they didn't enjoy doing it, but they do need people to help them. So then having an outsourced service instead, I feel like what makes somebody enjoy their business now has changed quite a lot, and they realize that, well, I can do all of these things without necessarily having to have 10 people on payroll. I can pay this company to do that company to do that, and it's much more a fluid, less committed way to run a business, in a way. And like that, you can just be much more fluid now in how you do it, and you can make it look exactly however you want it to look like. I've got a friend who set up a business like 18 months ago, and her team, she's got like 10 on her team. They've grown quite quickly. I feel like one of them's in Manchester, a couple are in Spain, a couple are in the Ukraine, and like all these different people all over, and they come together as well, physically as well. But she's able to grow the business that she wants, and she travels quite a lot. So that's just, I guess, yeah, a business owner's perception of what an actual business has just changed completely now and what it looks like.
Yeah, and the services, I mean, I can imagine there's just different types of businesses. How do you cater to these different businesses? What are the services?
So I guess it's like two main buckets that they fall into. And the first one that is a lead in for a lot of clients, and it's a quick win for a lot of clients, is so we're an outsourced reception, an outsourced switchboard, if you like. So we handle calls for businesses. And it is like the number one thing that, especially with a lot of our smaller businesses where they might still just use their mobile and all their clients know them, so they're just ringing their mobile. And it can be such a distracting, like time drain place because you're constantly reacting to picking up the phone. So, and also it's a single point of failure, for a lot of our solopreneurs and things that we work with, them going on holiday and not having to do anything it's just impossible in their minds because everything comes through to them. So the call answering service is a really great first step for a lot of our clients to make sure that all their inbound calls get handled beautifully. They don't miss leads, they don't waste money on marketing. And for a lot of them, a lot of the trades and things as well, if they've always just had a mobile on their website, having a landline number whereby they're not constantly having to react to the phone. So it's the call answering is like the first step in. And I feel like a lot of business owners, they know it. It's a good first step of delegation as well, getting the phone answered. It's like that's one thing. And then our PA support is quite it covers quite a lot of areas from a business perspective, and I guess it starts from supporting the business owner themselves. So the most common kinds of tasks are managing their inbox, diary, travel events, research, reactive tasks, maybe like in their personal life. So we do a lot of like personal PA support. A lot of our clients, they spend so much of their life committed to their business that their personal life can be much messier than in the business because they've forgotten to reply to this or renew that or book the car in. So personal PA support is one of the things we do as well. So I guess it's mainly like either supporting the business owner, or the two other areas are we do a lot of lead follow-up. So businesses that have new inquiries coming in and they might speak to them once, but they don't have the bandwidth to like keep nurturing them and keep them warm. Lead follow-up is probably our second biggest part of the business. There's generally a lot of money sat in people's existing lead list, but they spend most of their time dedicated to new inquiries coming in. So we help with lead follow-up. And then I guess the third area is more like operational tasks. So whether that's contacting customers, financial admin, social media posts, more, I guess, generally, I think operational things that generally happen in the business that need to happen. It is quite a wide range that we can support with. But yeah, the business owner, operational stuff, and lead follow-up are the three main areas of the PA support.
That is huge. Very time saving for any business owner, which allows them to then focus on what they need to do. I'm going to take a quote from somebody I think we both know. Zig Ziglar would say, "Don't be a wandering generality, be a meaningful specific," which then allows that business owner to focus on that very thing that attracted them to that business in the first place, leaving all the other things to the PA. Wow, sounds exciting. Now, I know that there's so much more to come. The business is growing rapidly. I love your social media. You've got great, your Instagram's fantastic. How can the audience connect with you and tell us what we can expect in the near future as well?
Yeah, no, thanks, Emma. So my Instagram is Emma My PA, and it's MIPA. And my YouTube is Emma Mills. So that's probably the best places to connect with me. And in the future, our number one focus has always been to be the UK's market leader in PA support. So my description of that is always, if there's like two business owners talking to each other, and one of them is like, "Oh, I'm just overwhelmed, got too much to do, I don't want to employ someone," that it's like you need to speak to my PA. We want to be an easy solution for somebody to to leverage their time. Not that it's like a big onboarding, a big training. It's like we can get started. So being the UK market leader has always been our number one in PA support and business support. And also, one of my main focuses is I'm looking to help, I guess. So I have spent a lot of time on content. I have like a weekly little video TV show called My TV, which is just value driven, and it's basically things that we do in the business or software we use or things that we've learned that have helped us grow. And yeah, one of my focuses later in the year is to be able to start helping business owners more directly with their growth. So yeah, so that's coming in the later half of the year.
Emma, I think they're in good hands. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, hearing your journey, and what a fantastic story it is indeed. Someone who stepped out from what was the traditional route in how we all get through this thing we call life, and realizing quickly that self-awareness to know that university wasn't for you, and to be bold enough to step out into a different world. At first didn't seem comfortable, but you found your lane, you found your rhythm, and you certainly have made something out of it. And what an incredible business you have today. And that just goes to show, when you step out and you believe in yourself, you two can go and achieve anything. And I think Tony Robbins will certainly be very proud.
Oh, thanks, Amos. That's an awesome summary. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome to be on today.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If you want some amazing inspiration, check out the videos next to me, and I'll see you right there.